Welcome to the best of the Anthony Cumia Show. 1 hour of highlights from this past week. Comedy, politics, current events, and pop culture. All completely uncensored.
Very important business right here. Sig and Jake, of course, from the Northwestern Deadliest Catch. How you doing, gentlemen?
Good.
Very good. Look at you guys. What are you, sequestered in some room somewhere?
Yeah, we locked ourselves down somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't want to be next to this guy all day long.
A bomb shelter looks like you're broadcasting from. I guess you're on dry land, though, huh?
Yeah. Good.
What's your season? When are you out at sea?
We fish king crab typically October, November, and then sometimes into December, and then we'll fish the snow crab or bear eye or apelio crab January through March, April.
Is there a reason you guys don't do this in the goddamn summer?
Yeah, the crab are full of meat in the winter. That's when the product is the best. So, and usually in the summer they're molting, so they'll shed their skin and molt.
That is very inconvenient for you fishermen. The coldest time of the year in one of the coldest climates to have to work there.
Yeah, and most dangerous too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who hasn't at least watched a few shows where the ships are encased in ice, which I guess you have to break away or it could capsize the ship.
Of course. Yeah. It's very dangerous.
Oh, or chunks of ice falling down from the rigging and narrowly missing and hitting some people, as we've seen over the seasons.
You make it sound so romantic.
Well, you know what? There is a certain strange romance with that, the danger involved in it. I guess just the manliness of being out there on the open water and stuff. When you first, now was this a family business passed on to you when you were younger?
For me, I'm 4 generations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then Dad came over from Norway in the late 50s, and so, he was one of the pioneers of the crab industry. And so it's, pretty proud of it,
Is it odd for you, especially with the show had taken off the way it did? Now, you're doing this your whole life for years. You watched your dad do this and relatives, and then all of a sudden it becomes a television show. That had to have been odd for you to have it was your life for so long.
Yeah, but we agreed to do it. It is a documentary, and we never thought it would go 11 years. So I mean, it's amazing. But kind of thought to myself, why not? It's good advertisement. You can't buy that kind of advertising. And then it just kept snowballing, and here we are 11 years later, and people love it. It goes in 180 countries, man. I mean, and
it got 6 Emmys.
Unbelievable, right?
I think guys like it because they can kind of live vicariously through you, and the job is a blast. I mean, you get to be your own boss. You can work when you want to work. You go as long as you want and stop, and it's a real neat lifestyle. You don't always make money. You don't go for weeks without making a buck, and then sometimes you get lucky and you make, lots. So it's kind of a neat lifestyle.
How close have you ever been to a mutiny because maybe your spidey senses on these crabs weren't as good as you'd hoped?
Oh, there's been times, man. You don't always hit them the first time, and the guys get upset. But we like to keep the same crew for as long as we can. It makes it safer.
Sure.
And the guys are professionals. They know how to take the good with the bad. They'll gripe a little bit, but at the end of the day, they want to do what we have to find them. So it is an exciting
moment on every show where you've laid out the pots, you're coming back, you pull them up, and it's like, all right, are you gonna hit? And then you see like one little crab in there, and it's like, oh shit, they're screwed.
It feels 1,000 times worse than that.
I bet. Yeah, I bet being on the boat is a little worse.
Just to haul one pot, only to find out you didn't make a damn buck.
Now, Sig, you do you spend most of your time in that nice heated captain's chair, or are you out there on the deck with the guys a lot?
No, I'm upstairs, and I'll take a little flack for it, but somebody's got to be the boss.
He tries to come out and help break ice, but we always kick him out and just get back inside.
Go down and show him how to do it once in a while.
Yeah.
Now you're training your brother to be on the captain of the Northwestern.
Yeah, he's run the boat before, so Edgar does better every time he gets at the wheel, and so we are sharing the boat more often. But I kind of like my spot. I like the throne.
And
So
what
does the crew.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Are you going to semi-retire or another ship? What are you doing?
For me, no. I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. Show or no show. That's the only thing we know how to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I love fishing. It's a blast.
It really there's a certain personality though that I think you have to do that kind of work and to enjoy it. I mean, it looks like some of the hardest work that a man could possibly get himself into.
You gotta have your heart into it, and you really gotta have your mind into that job. But I mean, I've seen big guys fail, cry, and so it's not about the size. It's
Right.
really gotta be in your heart.
Have you ever done anything else, roofing or anything, any other odd jobs, or have you always been a fisherman?
I was a paper boy. Let me see.
That's it, huh?
That's it. I mean, I was fishing, as a teenager, and then we would leave school early to go fish salmon. And then I'd go to Norway and fish mackerel or cod. Mm-hmm. Or I started king crabbing. They did have a summer blue king crab season and was doing that. So, you were leaving school early and late to school. So it was never the priority.
It seems like it was just part of where you grew up.
Sure.
Everybody was fishing, huh?
Yeah, a lot of kids in the same area from Seattle where we live do the same thing. So it's a whole culture. It really is.
I'd like to ask you about the celebrity aspect of the show. Now, you obviously you kind of took off a little more than everybody else. People really liked you as like a person. You seemed likable, a fun guy up there. And then some of the other guys seemed a little more rambunctious and had a little more of a mood to them. Was there any competition, not only with the fishing, but with, hey, I'm a little, I signed a few more autographs than you?
The guys take it pretty good. I think everybody's pretty cool about it, And it's kind of nice that, I can be an ass once in a while. I get it.
We've seen.
But, and then, but everybody's pretty good about it. And everybody's natures seem to come out when they're fishing. Keith can be pretty sneaky at times, but him and I are friends. And Jonathan, you got this funny guy, and everybody's got their personalities, and I think it's kind of nice. It makes it fun to watch.
And some of these practical jokes weren't just for the show. You guys had been doing this stuff to each other for forever, right?
Oh yeah, a lot of this stuff's been done and done more than once. There's a few big ones. There's one this season that's never been done. So I think people should be ready for that one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for people to see it.
And a more, I guess, serious part of it, you've lost people that you've cared about and have worked with over the years. That's something that I don't think a lot of people really contend with at their ordinary jobs,
Right. No, I think, I've got a lot of friends that are gone. But it's not fun to talk about it.
No, I wouldn't.
Try to take it in stride. But, I've told this story before. There was, even when I was a kid, I had a job. We tied the Northwestern up. I was going to fish on another boat, and they were laying next to us. So I threw my sea bag over, and I was going to cook on that boat. And next thing you know, I sprained my ankle. So the captain let me go right there and then, said, I can't use you. And they left the next day. I had to fly home. Never saw the boat again. Just
Wow.
Gone. So there's a lot of friends of mine that are gone over the years. But that's just part of the deal.
Yeah. Is safety paramount with you, or will you sometimes take a little gamble to maybe fill up that hold a little more?
When I was younger, I would take more risk, and at the crew's peril. And, damn near sank the boat doing it. We iced it up so much that because you want to prove yourself, and it's crazy. So it comes with time and age,
Do you notice with a lot of the guys that are captains and also the crew, there's kind of this invincibility, like, hey, nothing bad could happen to me,
Oh, it's out there. Yeah. And
That's pretty stupid, though, to think like that. That'll get you hurt pretty quick.
Yeah, you don't want to be complacent on a boat, any boat,
True, yeah.
So that's why I'm so happy that the show's been doing well, because, fishermen from all walks of life get credit, People, they see their food that's at a restaurant in a different way, the seafood.
Yeah.
So you really had to work hard to go get that, so pretty flattering stuff.
It really is true. I don't think anybody can really crack open a crab claw anymore and not think like, wow, some guy really put some shit into getting this thing on this table. So it's an amazing show. I remember season 1, I was hooked on it, and it's compelling, fun, entertaining, and what's his name doing voiceover for it is Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe, the voice of everything, is really knows how to give it some character when he's saying what's going on. Great, Sig and Jake, great to talk to you guys. Looking forward to seeing Season 11, Deadliest Catch, Tuesday, April 14th, 9 p.m., right there on Discovery. Thanks so much for coming by. Good luck and be safe.
Oh, they're gonna play a bunch of episodes all day tomorrow. And then
the big marathon, yep.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty neat. And thank you for having us.
Thanks.
No problem, guys. Take care, man.
See ya.
There they go. Sig Hansen, Jake Anderson. Deadliest Catch. That's pretty cool, man. Those guys, what a way to make a fucking living, though. I watched that show, and it's amazing how, they're okay with being cold. Like, right there, I'm done. I'm just done. Oh, then I got to do this, and I got to grab and pull and stack, and fuck that. I'm cold. That's number one. How are you going to fix that for me? Wait, where are you taking me? Fuck that noise.
It's the best of the Anthony Cumia Show. The Anthony Cumia Show airs live Monday through Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern in glorious high-definition video, exclusively at anthonycumia.com.
So what's the last movie you watched in your screening room?
This one, I've watched, let me see, the last one.
Mannequin.
Mannequin was just amazing on the big screen. I do like coming down here for big sci-fi movies, Star Trek, things like that.
Right, you're a big movie guy, right?
Yeah, I love movies. I really do. A good fucking halfway through a good movie, I'm like, oh, it's a good movie, and I'll be like, I hope they don't fuck it up.
Right.
Like even that's stressful. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Like I was watching a movie the other day. It was I think it was that Australian one where this guy, there's 12 hours left on the world. It's like a meteor hit and a fire wave is coming over the whole world, and Australia is going to be consumed in 12 hours. So it's how people spent their last 12 hours knowing that it was the end of the world. There's rape and pillage and fucking and drinking and drugs.
Is that a recent movie?
Yeah. It was it was made in 2013, but it just came here. It was
These
on demand.
Final Hours.
These Final Hours, it's called. And now it sounds a lot like another movie that was made where I think Steve Carell was in.
Oh, that's
Seeking a Friend to the End of the World.
Yeah.
For Seeking a Friend to the End of the World.
And I it's very similar plot line. The one in Australia, he finds this girl's about, I don't know, 10 years old or something like that, that's looking for a father and decides to forego all this other shit that he would have done being this selfish, greedy guy, like partying and fucking and everything, and try to find this father for this girl. And, problems he encounters along the way kind of a thing.
Right.
A little redemption in his shitty life, things like that. And halfway through, I'm like, I hope this doesn't get all fucked up at the end. I hope they don't fuck it up. And they didn't. They went the full, no happy ending there kind of a thing.
Right. So it ends.
Yeah, but there are some movies halfway through you're like, I really hope this doesn't end up shitty. Or
is there somebody you've seen recently that did that?
I was really into Gone Girl.
Yeah, I love Gone Girl.
The beginning of it and the middle of it's really good. It went a little too long, I think. I don't think they needed that whole thing at the end
when she comes back and everything.
Yeah. They could have done that. Could have gone a lot faster. They could have edited some of the shit out, I guess. But the movies that really get me are you're into a movie, you're watching it, you're trying to figure out this weird, twisty plot line, and then like the screen fades and the credits start rolling, and you're like, what?
Like that they didn't finish the movie?
Yeah, like they just didn't finish it. And it's like, and then I'll go to the internet and I'm like fucking IMDb and message boards and shit. And I'm like, what? Well, I think it was great that it was left to your own interpretation. What happened? I'm writing the end of the movie in my head. Yeah. Fuck you. Well, you write it.
That was the thing, like with the like Spike Lee movies. I would always look at these message boards and they're like, he's so great because like he doesn't like give you any answers.
That's great.
No, but I'm like, well, I mean, dude, like now I have to come up with the answer. Yeah, exactly. Like I have to come up with the answers. Like it's your fucking movie.
Yeah.
Why don't you? Like I'm tired. I came here to like get away from my life.
Exactly.
Why don't you answer things? That is a big thing. They end movies kind of.
I don't like that.
The Coen brothers do that a lot.
Yeah. We'll leave it up to you.
Right.
You know what I do just to fuck them up? My ending is ridiculous. A flying saucer comes down, like a Spike Lee movie could end with no answers, and then it's like a dinosaur comes out of the sewer in Brooklyn and starts eating people. That's how I end it. See? You leave it up to me, that's what you're going to get. Shit.
Yeah, so I just watched Inside Llewyn Davis again, and that's kind of a movie that it ends and it's very ambiguous. Did you see that?
I have not seen that one.
Do you know the Coen brothers?
Oh yeah, I know the Coen brothers and
it's a really weird and it's. I mean, not to give it away, but it's like the opening scene and the ending scene are very similar scenes,
right?
And you don't know if they're supposed to be the same scene. So you don't know if it's kind of like a Groundhog Day thing where he's just living the entire
and they just leave that. That's how they leave you.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, movies like that, you'll go on IMDb and there's message boards and there's just so many threads of everyone's interpretation of it, which I guess is kind of smart that these people do that because some people are really into movies. They're, people who are like movie buffs are really into dissecting what
it makes
mean.
People talk about the movie.
Exactly. So it doesn't. I saw a movie. Have you heard of the movie It Follows? It just came out. It's a horror movie. And it ends kind of, you have no idea what happened at the end. It just ends. It is exactly what you explained. The credits come up and you're like, that's the end of the movie.
It's like, stop the credits, stop it.
But people are like, on message boards, they're like, it's brilliant because you don't know. And everyone's like, this is what it means. Like, didn't you see like in the third scene when like he's wearing that shirt? That's what
I don't want to hear things like, and believe me, call me a moron that doesn't fucking appreciate the subtleties in movie, whatever you want to say. I don't like things like fucking symbolism in like contrived symbolism. I like symbolism. I like foreshadowing if it really is foreshadowing in a movie. And I don't like this interpretation that sounds like it's from a film class where it's like, no, if you noticed, the red shirt is supposed to denote I never would have thought that the shirt color meant anything. Unless somebody, a professor, was telling me that.
There's a documentary called, I think it's called Room 237.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
I've seen that one.
And I haven't seen it, but yeah, it's all that. They're dissecting everything in the shot.
Every little thing. And I will tell you, 99% of it, I think is bullshit.
Really? Do you think it's just they're crazy?
I think they are seeing things like a conspiracy theorist sees everything in something, and it's probably not really there. They're saying, the twins walking in the room and the distance from the door means something. It's like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's Kubrick saying, there's the fucking spot, you little scary shits. Stand on it.
Yeah, and they don't understand that, like, Kubrick was, like, an older guy, and, like, making movies is hard.
Yeah.
And he's not sitting around, just, like, he's tired.
Right, trying to put Easter eggs in his movies.
People get tired, and they're just like, just go there.
Just do it.
There's a thing in that movie that I saw where, like, at one point on the kid's wall or on his door, like, dopey, there's a sticker of dopey.
Yes, and then it's gone.
Yeah, and they're like, and that means that he's, like, not stupid anymore. He's getting in touch with...
No, it means continuity fucked up.
Yeah, it means they shot something, and then later they put a dopey sticker.
Right. Yeah, it's not always some hidden, amazing thing in movies. I was watching last night. I was watching Marathon Man.
Oh yeah, I love that
with
movie.
Dustin Hoffman. Yeah. And it's just a great movie to revisit every so often.
Yeah, well, because New York, it really
that any
New York
movie
is such a different time.
Any movie with the gritty 70s New York, I can't get enough.
Well, New
of.
York just looks terrifying, and that's when I grew up there. So yeah,
yes, it was scary to go to New York as a kid back then. You always like, oh, we're going to New York, the city.
Well, I remember watching that when I was like 6, and I was like, wow, this looks really scary, and then it was like, oh, I live here.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like a block from where we are right now.
That's funny. There were a few instances where I noticed like that there was this German references. There were German references throughout. Like a store was Berlin something, and then the dog that comes after one of the joggers is a German Shepherd and stuff.
Right.
And there was another one I can't remember. But it was like,
is Laurence Olivier supposed to be German in it? He's
he's
like
the Nazi
guy. Yeah.
Do you have the Vice Angel? Yeah, I know you murderer. Yeah, he stabs him. He's like, this man needs help.
Right.
Shoves him off. Yeah, that was right on 46th, I think, the Diamond district down there. And just frightening, though. It's like you said, like I would watch movies. I have this fear that was in my head from years ago. There was something in New York called the $1 Million Movie. And it would come on. It was like they'd play the theme from Gone with the Wind.
Was they playing on like Channel 9 or something?
Yeah, Channel 9. And it was like the $1 Million Movie. And it was this... That's it. That's the music. And they would play these film. It was a film montage of this grainy. Here it is.
Oh, all right.
Yes,
wow.
This is the. This scared the shit out of me because I used to imagine being lost in New York. I had to be like 8, 9 years old, and I was petrified of this beginning because all I could think is how scary it would have been to be lost in this city. Yeah, knowing how quickly I would die.
Yeah,
curl up and die.
Another movie that I had that with was
wow, good one, good find, Rat.
Wow, that is The Warriors was another one.
Yes,
that I saw like later on, and I mean, and like I knew I lived in New York City.
Yeah,
but I mean, I was young and sheltered, and like watching The Warriors, I was like, wow, this is the scariest thing. And then I was like, growing up and it dawning on you that like I live in like a scary place.
A city. That was a little cartoony though. Growing up, I guess I was a little too old watching that to think that there were gangs dressed like the Yankees and fucking
that took that much time to put makeup on.
To put makeup on. Yeah, there's got to be a point where they're doing it, going, yeah, we're the baddest ass gang ever, and they're just putting makeup. Dude, do you have any white? I'm all out. Yeah. And like his buddies has to give him makeup.
Like we're gonna beat the shit out of those guys tonight. Like, where's my eyeliner?
Do you have that? Should I use the rouge?
Right.
Do you have a good foundation? I'm breaking out from this. Yeah, it just
Death Wish was one though.
Death Wish is a perfect example of the scary. Like you watch it now and think, all right, there weren't gangs like that. Because they're also way over the top, kind of goofy, and very diverse, their gangs back in Death Wish.
Well, the only thing I'll say about that is everywhere he goes at any point, there's people there trying to kill him.
Trying to rob him, hurt him, or kill him, yes.
Like, he just goes to the train. He just goes to the store. He goes to the park for like a minute.
Yeah.
And there's just like a gang of 8
roving bands of thugs that are like slapping hats off of old ladies and laughing and then waiting to just hurt you.
The most disturbing thing about that movie is it's Jeff Goldblum's first movie.
Jeff Goldblum, yes.
And he's one of the rapists.
Yes. Yeah, rich cunt. He goes, rich cunt. I kill rich cunts.
Yeah,
that's his big line. And he's wearing a jughead hat.
Yeah, he's wearing a jughead hat.
A jughead hat.
And then, did you ever see the second one?
Yes, Death Wish 2 in L.A. Was he?
Yeah, he moves to L.A. and he just can't get a break because his family just gets raped and killed in the first 5 minutes.
His daughter, who survives the first one, but gets raped. If she even got raped, the mom gets killed. She gets raped, And so she like loses her mind. She's in a mental institution.
And they have her out for like the day.
Yeah, for the day. They're able to take her out, and he takes her like where there are more murdering rapists running around this carnival.
Right. Well, he like pisses off a gang.
Yeah, because he's like, okay, you stay here. I'll get some popcorn. So he goes to get some ice cream, whatever the fuck it was.
Not
right.
that I've watched this last night.
Oh, I love it. He goes, and while he's gone, like they're harassing him.
Well, they harass him and they take his wallet.
Yeah, they took his wallet where they get his address.
Yeah.
And of course, now his daughter is at the house, and
the maid and the daughter.
The maid, the daughter. Now this one, and he's got to go back out and kill all the guys.
And it's funny because she gets killed in that one. So by the third one, they didn't have any more family to kill and murder to inspire him to go do things. So by the third one, they're just kind of killing people he knows.
Now he's someone he just an acquaintance.
It's it literally is a guy went to college with.
Yeah, he reads an obituary and goes, I think the name rings a bell. Let me go out and kill whoever did this.
Let me dedicate my entire life to murdering mothers now. But in all of those, there's someone who kind of comes out of the gang that does horror. The second one, Lawrence Fishburne, is part of the rapist.
Yes,
gang.
Lawrence Fishburne was one of the bad guys.
And then the third one, Alex Winter from Bill and Ted is one.
Really? He was one of the bad guys?
Yeah, he's one of the guys that kills his friend. And it literally is in Death Wish 3, they kill his friend.
His friend? That just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, not to be a dick, but
yeah.
If my friend got killed by a gang tomorrow, I'd be really upset, but I wouldn't be like, well, now I have to
I'd probably be pushing for change and, maybe in his name we'll do that. But you're just strapping on a gun and going out there to hunt down the thugs.
I wouldn't move into his apartment and get a machine gun.
Right, something
I'd
like
be
that.
Like, oh, that sucks. That guy shouldn't have, I guess he shouldn't go to that neighborhood and get killed.
It's the best of the Anthony Cumia Show. 1 hour of what you missed this week because you're too damn cheap to pay for it.
I remember when I got the job at AAF. Me and Opie went up there, and it was...
I hope that's not uncomfortable.
That's okay.
Yeah, it is. It's nice.
Not any more uncomfortable than you would be if I was wearing a fez. That...
At least mine died.
Yeah.
You're divorced. I'm a widower.
The stations like that, I went up at AAF, and the first thing they told us was okay, here's who the competition is.
Right.
Here's who you got to go after. And they tell us about the personalities on the air, on the other stations, and it was your job to just fucking slander and libel them and whatever.
Just
rip them apart.
Yeah.
And
it was great.
It was a lot of fun. But that's all it's just gone. I think part of the mystique wore off, too. I think it became something that everyone kind of looks at oh, look, the radio war thing.
Well, Clear Channel went in and bought every channel so that you don't fight back and forth.
So you didn't fight, right.
Yeah. This is like when we were at Sirius. Well, I still am. But
yes.
But, it's you don't hate the guys next door.
Yeah,
whatever.
what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It happened with us with Howard working for the same company. It kind of became counterproductive,
right?
As Mel Karmazin told us a few times.
I remember if a guest showed up on the other station before yours, you went crazy
and nuts.
So we were like, yeah, come up a little later, Bobcat. And then we're like, he's a Q105, and we're like, Bobcat blows.
Fuck Bobcat.
He's the worst person. And Bobcat, because I had talked about him later, he was just in a car
didn't know
wherever the club owner took him.
He didn't know he was in the middle of this dumb fucking scenario that was going on. You got in, when did you get into radio?
It was 86, 87, 87.
And what
probably.
Did you come out of to do that?
I was
comedy,
doing
right?
stand-up, and I had a club, and I would bring the comics down on Fridays. And then the PD of the station said, look, your comics blow. Why don't you come in on Fridays? And then they're like, can you come in on Thursdays and Fridays? And I'm like, free fuck. And they're like, come in every day. And I'm like, but I keep plugging. And they're like, yeah, just keep plugging.
Just for plugs?
Yeah. And then one day, they said, could you come down to the office? And this is they're like, we're number one 18 to 34-year men. We've never had that. What would it take? What would it take to keep you? And I'm like, I don't want to be here now. Now I don't like the idea of this at all. It's a job suddenly. So
shit!
I made them, come up with the deal, but I had no intention.
No intention of doing radio.
I don't even think I listened to radio.
Really?
Before, just
no big. It was my life's passion.
Yeah.
I felt like I was on a mission to nothing like that.
Nothing at all. I remember even when I started, I was saying, do you guys need me to bring some albums from home? Because we're playing the same shitty songs.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, these songs are tested.
It is odd to get into radio not having a background or schooling or internships or anything. You have this misconception of what it's all about. You thought the jock, got from home, brought his records and, hey, this is cool. I'll play this because it's cool and I like it. It's like the same fucking songs over and over. And I used to ask Opie. I would say, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
It's uncomfortable. I know. Let's all just take a breath. I would ask him, can't we talk more? Like you're reading, we're wasting all the talk time talking about what the station events are for 40 seconds and then back into music. Let's just talk. And it was like, no, we can't.
Got to back sell it. Got to back sell it.
And we got to get all these songs in this hour. I was like, oh, wait, this is like a job.
Right.
This isn't like just playtime that you get paid for.
I think when I started, there was like 8 or 9 songs an hour, and then we went back to 7 and 6.
Yeah, that's how it's got to be done.
It's going slowly. And then the other station would start to wait for us to talk, and then they would play sweepers that, while they're talking, we're rocking.
We're rocking. Wait, while they're talking, we're rocking? Rocking? Yeah, whatever. That's what we're doing. Yeah, they would come up with a way to try to make it seem like you're all talk over there.
Yeah, so it was like fucking great because down there, no one had ever said anything on the radio before. I had no competition. So whatever I said, they're like, he's a madman.
That's crazy.
He just said boobage.
Boobage.
Yeah. I remember, like, during a PSA, we were rocking the vote for some reason, and I'm like, nah, I don't vote. And it was like a big, giant thing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember we pierced a girl's tongue and it made the paper. That's how wild
you are.
How little you had to do to shock anybody.
It really, I've talked about that too, how we're unshockable now because of what's available. And it's so hard to talk like this without sounding like, well, by gum, let me tell you. But we're unshockable. There's so much shit online that you could watch and be like, literally, you never thought you'd see this stuff as a kid, young adult. Beheadings is, of course, the big taboo thing. I can't watch them. I wouldn't watch them, but they're out there, and I know kids are watching it and how that's affecting them. And but as far as shock value goes, boobage, hey, she just took her top off.
Yeah,
woo, it's
naked radio.
It's silly. It's really nostalgic and silly now, and the genre, the shock jock, whenever it's used now, shock jock, you have to laugh. It sounds so archaic, but that's dead. It's gone.
It is gone because, like you said, no one can be shocked now.
You can't. It's the difference between listening to oldie time radio when the family was gathered round and making the images in their head and watching TV or going to the movies. It's that next step. So that type of shock jock radio. I heard Man Cow is back.
Oh, is that right?
At the Loop in Chicago, and it's his best gig ever if you talk to him. He's so happy to be back on regular radio. I think Turd is joining him again.
Good, all right.
And he's got a cast of characters. And it's like, all right, he went from the shock jock guy, to try to be a political talker on Fox News, and now he's back to shock jockery. And it's just that whole genre is done. What is it? Turd, are you in the car, Turd? He's heading toward the wall. Turd. And there he is. He couldn't be happier to be back. And these things are great, like the correspondence from the station and Mancow. It's like, we couldn't be happier to have Mancow back on our airwaves. He's the greatest thing. And then when you get fired, you're not the greatest thing ever. What happened?
Thank God we're going in a new direction.
Yes.
It's a new direction. We're dumping all of his bullshit.
There is zero honesty in this business.
Any business, really.
And
but
really
we're
any
close
business.
to it.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think anyone's ever been, except I think me. I was fired and that, or a few other people, I guess. Imus at that point. But everything, they leave amicably. Mm-hmm. We wish him the best on his new pursuit of a new direction, and the company, a guy talks about the company. I had a great time there, but I feel it's time to move on. And you just know behind the scenes they were killing each other.
Absolutely. But you're saying you're the honest guy?
I'm saying I really was fired.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a lying sack of shit.
But because I did an unmask with you and Opie and Jimmy, which we now have to go back and just call masked because you three guys fucking lied your asses off.
It was, oh my God. I did want to bring that up. The last time I think we were on professionally was at this event. There it is. Caroline's, Ronnie, Opie, me, and Jimmy in front of a festival crowd.
Sure.
Celebrating.
Happy. Yeah.
Celebrating 20 years of wedded bliss.
Yeah. I remember you were so happy back in the green room. You and a child had all this food laid out in front of you. You would lift her up to the table and let her eat with the big people. It was so, and I remember looking around, looking at her like, look, it's all, it all really happened.
This is great.
It's great. And that was the last, and you guys went out, you were so kind to just lie about your friendship and caring and the love, and none of it.
You know what? A water heater will never put out hotter, more useful water than right before it's ready to explode. And that could be
that's a great analogy.
What was happening at the time. Now, Ron, you understand because you've been in a radio relationship for many years yourself.
Yeah.
And these things aren't always hunky-dory. But you got to get on the air and do a show. And if the show is about two people and their relationship together all the time, then you could sit there and bash each other or clear the air or anything. But when it's supposed to be a fun show, you can't really bring that out all the time. And I guess that's what a phone call is supposed to do.
But now that I heard that you guys didn't even like each other after 1999. So from what I understand, as long as I've known you, you didn't like each other.
Well, no. I think they misprinted it. We didn't like the song 1999.
Okay. Well, you were wrong.
Yeah, I know. And then
great.
in hindsight, it's a great song.
Right.
No, I wouldn't put it that far back either. I know that's what was said and stuff, but I would not have put it that far back. I mean, that means we only enjoyed each other's company there at AAF. And then when we got to New York, it was an instant problem. We had issues, but it wasn't this where I didn't like him or we didn't go out or hang out or anything like that. As time went on, our lives changed. You got to witness that. A bunch of...
But you brought Jimmy in, you guys even said, because you said there was a year you guys weren't talking.
Well, Opie said he brought Jimmy in to save the show and that I had a problem with bringing Jimmy on board. And that's completely false. I did never say. But I loved the fact that Jimmy was coming on board. He wasn't just thrust in either. He didn't just pop in the seat one day and it's like, "Hi, I'm full-time Jimmy." We brought him in slow. It was.
I do like the name Full-Time Jimmy.
Full-time Jimmy is a good name, right?
Yeah.
And there's Full-time Jimmy and fucking Big A and yeah. So it wasn't like a surprise or a bad thing. I thought Jimmy fit the show very well. I think our lives changed so much after I got a divorce that, and he got married. And then, and when we had those 2 years off, it was really, we didn't talk a lot then. And a lot changed during that 2 years. So I don't think you have to be good friends, though, to do good radio. I really don't. I don't think you have to be pals. And as far as calling or talking after the show about things, We just talked for 4 hours. What else do I got to say?
It is true, man.
I have poured my fucking guts out. So, I think we both went a little far in recent weeks as far as throwing trash or human garbage. Whatever was being thrown.
Which, by the way, I do smell human garbage in this room.
Yes, it is me.
But, it's not like bad garbage. It's
it's human.
It's like an
garbage.
old foot that no one wants anymore.
Human garbage.
But you don't let that stick to you because beyond not liking each other, you guys love each other.
We did a great job on the radio. That can't be just brushed away with the fact that we never hung out and, went to concerts. But
it's actually the work is more important than the friendship. Anyway,
absolutely.
Like, do you give a fuck that John and Paul had problems in the Beatles? No, it doesn't matter to me.
Fucking write the songs and make the music. 4
guys that get together really well and like being together are a fucking wedding band. You know what I mean? They're not good. There's no tension there. So you don't let it stick to you.
No.
And I'm guessing Opie doesn't let this stick to him. And I'm going to say this. The O&A show is going to get together again. It's going to happen.
Wow, Ron Bennington predicts.
It is going to happen.
That the O&A show will get back together.
And I'll tell you what's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Money. Somebody out there, there is some new form of content that we don't even know.
Right.
And they're going to go, where can we get viewers, listeners? Who's left? And they're going to throw some cash at you guys, and you're going to be sitting in there.
Just like the XFL, we're going to go, okay, we'll take it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. It did. As far as the show went, I was having a great time. I'd have stayed there. It was the perfect gig. As far as the friendship goes, we obviously know about that, and I think that affected Opie more than it did me. Like, it didn't matter to me professionally if we had a friendship or not. It mattered to him if we were. He would just say we should communicate more, but that didn't mean show related. That was like talk more and be friends.
Why couldn't you do that?
Because I don't do that with anybody. I don't. When
he said, "What happened to you, buddy?"
I guess you could replay shows and hear everything because on those slow days. You pour your shit right out there.
You got to.
For the world.
Yeah.
No, it was, when Opie said, look, the guy he never came to my house. And it sounds like, holy shit, the guy worked with him and never came to his house. Jimmy lives across the street from Opie. I'd never been to Jimmy's house. I wasn't to Travis's house, E-Rock's house, went to Sam's house, never went to fucking Mars' house. I've never been to any of their houses. If they would invite me for a party, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm uninvitable.
Well, I've been to Mars's house, and it's scary.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, it looks like you just hammered some things together, but they were making chicken in a trash can, and the whole family was together. It seemed nice. I didn't understand what they were saying.
It's a cultural thing, yeah.
But now, looking at it, why? Look, I've known you for years, and I never saw you with all your show prep in front of you.
Oh, I know,
the way you do now. You go out and do these fucking nutty podcasts one after another.
Exactly.
And you wouldn't before you're like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I'm in, I'm out, do the show. Yeah, I think the O&A show became a little complacent. I think and I don't know if that's anything that you could really say, wow, that's crazy. I think everyone does that to an extent.
Look at David Letterman. He's going off the air. He was unbelievable in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
But can you think of a bit in 20 years? And I love the guy. I think he changed everything.
Yep.
But you get success and just let it sit there. And
you get a little comfy. And if the checks are coming in and you can do a little less, I think you will. And I don't think it's so much a conscious thing. I think you just, after a while, maybe I won't stay for that meeting or, we won't have a discussion about tomorrow's show or things like that. And then you realize you're running out the door the second the show ends. You slide in front of the mic the second the show starts.
Or you say to yourself, I'm still a little drunk from last night.
That could be that,
Why
too.
don't I just sleep here and see everybody tomorrow?
It's easier that way.
Yeah.
It's, I remember seeing some casualties, me being one of them a few times at the old station. That was some crazy stuff at NEW, Ronnie.
Yeah.
I've never seen a station that ran like that, and you definitely wouldn't now.
No.
The amount of liquor that was being consumed and just debauchery that was going on in the name of entertainment,
right,
was astounding.
Well, you've kind of moved it all into your house.
Yeah, that seemed to be the safest bet. The neighbors occasionally gather with pitchforks and torches to try to get me out of the neighborhood, but it works well. I have locks on the doors.
Well, you used to drop in on my show when I was doing nights there, and then the next day I would see you, and you would say to me, I don't remember a single thing that happened, and I'm like, dude, I didn't even know that you were drunk. You can black out but seem normal.
That's definitely been a talent over the years.
Yeah. It makes it harder to find your bottom, though, doesn't it?
Oh, it certainly does. It's one of those things. And thank God, not only you, but police officers have had that trouble, too.
Right, yeah.
It's like, this guy seems all right.
Yeah. Well, one time I heard, though, that you got in so much trouble with the cops, and you can tell me if you don't want to bring this up, but you ended up having to make one of them your executive producer.
This was a little entanglement I got in early on. There are pictures.
Remember when the Miami cops showed up at NEW and they came to see me, and I'm just like, just play along with these guys. Just let everything go by.
You don't want any legal entanglements.
Yeah.
And as you get older, you realize how much more affected your life would be with any kind of legal
But
problems.
see, that's what happens is that the radio fixes that for you, too. So I said those Miami cops.
Yeah.
If they were really doing their job, they'd have to put cuffs on themselves. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I've found a criminal, me.
Yeah.
Come in here. But that's what happens when you get on the radio. You get away with shit that you probably shouldn't.
Yeah, and you do. There is that, especially back then. There was that, top yourself kind of attitude.
Oh yeah, that's the problem.
That top yourself thing was It was the double-edged sword. It made things great. It made people want to listen. But you get caught up in it yourself.
Right.
And go, oh, we did that. Now, come on, what else can we do? We got to do something. And that line between really getting in trouble, not radio trouble, real trouble, and radio trouble is very narrow. It could cross over very quickly. And then, you got a situation where Jim Norton and Louis Black are in jail, and or you're getting fired, things like that. But there was always that pushing it.
Yeah.
Did you get caught up in that?
Yeah, we tried to make every gig bigger.
Yeah.
Like by the time that I met you, I'd already said, I'm done with this shock jock shit. Let's go in another weirder angle. You know what I mean? Because you can't keep making it bigger.
No.
But I remember too, is like then you didn't know who was going to show up at your gigs because there was like no internet, right?
Yeah.
So you would just show up and hope they were going to do good. And they may be just way too big, way too crazy. And then you're like, I don't know we don't have enough shit to entertain these people. Let's start throwing knives at the interns. You know what I mean? Like we're throwing knives at interns.
Oh, shit.
Some kid is crying. He's got something stuck in him. You're like looking at people like, is this good enough? Is everybody happy?
Are you not entertained?
See ya! Buy the T-shirts. Yeah.
There is that panicked moment where you're on stage, it's a live appearance, and you realize you got nothing.
No, you got no act.
You've gotten the big, yeah! You flashed the tits of some of the girls that are up. You've introduced the wacky ensemble, and you realize, I got nothing for these people.
And 3.5 more hours.
Yeah, 3.5 more hours. They're drunk off their ass.
Right.
And, I'll go down to the front of the stage and high five a little more. We'll throw out some shirts. We got any? Oh, no, we're out of shirts. Great. How many do we bring? 5?
Then you realize that, okay, Louis Black writes an act and puts together an hour, 1 hour, not 4.
Yeah.
And then goes out and performs it.
Yeah.
Where you're out there for 4 hours.
Fuck! Yeah, just curse. And You guys really did kind of come up with some amazing events, though. I remember the one I remember the most is the boxing thing, the night of fights.
Oh yeah.
Outside of the Hooters, it was the Hooters building, and then the building that we were in at NEW, and in between.
That was a loser leaves town match with Al Dukes.
Al Dukes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you set up a legitimate ring.
Yeah.
This is a professional ring.
Well, we did also over in Jersey, and you came over for it, was the Digstown Challenge with Billy Staples.
Yes.
And he had to fight 10 listeners. He had to fight them all for a round apiece. And then, so I just seen Digstown on TV, and I'm like, I got an idea.
Yeah, this is great.
And what happened is we're like into the 4th round, and some big listener just hits him on the head, and out he goes.
Right on the button, glass jaw.
And I just go like this, ring the bell. And they ring the bell, and I'm going like this, what? These son of a bitches are saying at the time that he had made it to time, and everyone's booing.
Oh, shit.
And I'm pointing at the judges, which is just a wall. There's no judge. It's just me lying. These fuckers over here, somewhere in this area. And in the meantime, we're just slapping poor Billy Staples, like, putting him up to fight the 5th guy.
It's like the mob.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to go down in the 3rd, not the 1st.
And
Get up.
He went out and stayed out. He went out. But back in Florida, I actually did a thing for years where I had an intern, and I did a bit on the air. I go, no woman could ever beat a man. I'll take the skinny intern, and he'll fight any woman out there.
Woman.
So they started to churn out, you know, and he won, you know, and we did it again, and he won. And he kept training, right? And so finally, he was like a young Navy middleweight. I mean, he was just moving and sticking, right?
Jacked.
And so we're doing this thing. We're out 6 o'clock in the morning. We're at this big place. There's like 10,000 people. They're going crazy. And he hits this girl, and you just see the life leave her. She's just gone.
Out.
And I had the special referee was Randy Macho Man Savage.
Wow.
And he's going like this to me. I don't know, brother. I think she's gone. I think she's dead, man. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. I don't know, man. She's in a fucking coma right now, dude. Not good. You know what I'm like? Shut up, man.
Come on, we gotta stretch this out a little.
Just put the ice on her face.
Holy shit.
You're okay.
Wow.
You're okay.
Just thinking about the potential lawsuits.
All the time, man.
Back then, I still sometimes wake up in the cold sweat thinking like, oh my God, we could have lost everything, gone to jail.
Right.
Some of the illegal things that were going on as far as drug use and alcohol, and, you know, maybe everyone wasn't of age to drink. It was, but why during that time you're on the show, do you feel like you're above the law, above the rules, above the normal rules of society? Right, because it feels like a Rolling Stones tour. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you know, like backstage at Rolling Stones, everyone was just like chanting, rape her, you know, just watching a roadie bone some, you know, and then you go, wait, what happened? Who saw her come in? Who's, you know, then it all comes out it's like,
later.
oh, fuck. This is
bad.
trouble. Yeah, we're part of America. Yeah.
We can't act like this.
This isn't the island of Benningtonian. There were a few instances where I would leave the show and you know, take the old elevator ride down, walk out the door, you're waiting for your car, and it's like, ugh, why did I say that, or, you know, do that? It wouldn't affect me badly enough where I wouldn't do it again next time. Right. But this all for the show thing really is pretty powerful. And I don't know where it comes from. I don't think it comes from, hey, I need to do this to make more money. I need to do this to keep my job. It comes from, I need to do this to be like, to get people talking about the show. Right. And get the notoriety out there. That becomes the drug. Yeah, you guys were really addicted at NEW. Yes. And we all felt it tipping over. You know what I mean? Like, we're all like, is it not over? Okay, back in. But we knew, like, it's like you're at a party on a boat,
and you're up to your knees in water.
Yeah,
you know?
but it's like, hey, one more drink. It was a fucking incredible ride over there at NEW.
But see, that's what I'm saying. You and Opie share that. That's more important than any friendship.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in a professional way, you know, and you've seen it over, you know, history. Martin and Lewis. You know? Oh, they look like they've had a great time. Hey, you know, they're drinking and Jerry, and it's great. Everyone, and then you realize they fucking couldn't stand each other.
Because they did too much shit together.
Yeah,
you know?
Too much shit. They were very popular, and I think that happens with a lot of duos. Hall and Oates, perhaps. Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
We'll just keep naming duos.
Yeah, and it's true. Like Hall and Oates only get together to go out and do their tours.
Yeah.
But that's great.
Dressed as Opie and Anthony, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
Which is an odd thing.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Now we're talking uncensored. If you like what you hear, visit AnthonyCumia.com for subscription information and show details. And never miss a minute of fully archived shows available at any time in streaming HD video or audio download.